In their long and memorable football history, the Baltimore Colts have produced a wealth of talent. Donovan, Mutchler, Marchetti, and Parker were just a few of the many ex-Colts honored at today's game in Baltimore. The honored Colts of the past and their counterparts on today's team have one thing in common. No Baltimore team has ever beaten the Cleveland Browns in Baltimore. There was one man in particular who wanted a victory over the Browns perhaps more than anyone. The man with a golden arm, Johnny Unitas. Unitas had suffered a humiliating 27-0 defeat to Cleveland the last time the two met in the '64 championship. Plagued by a tennis elbow, he would today probably see his first substantial action of the year. But as the Browns took the opening kickoff and proceeded downfield, almost at will on a heretofore stingy Colt defensive unit, it became apparent that the Colts' undefeated streak this season was in jeopardy. Up to now, Cleveland had suffered through a mediocre 2-3 season, relying almost totally on the running of Leroy Kelly and the receiving of a rejuvenated Paul Warfield, an all-pro in his rookie year, who has been hampered by injuries ever since. Even as their first sustained drive faltered and would result in a missed field goal, it was evident that on this Sunday, the Browns were ready to continue their mastery over the Colts. I'm Jack Whitaker, and this is the NFL Game of the Week. For the sixth consecutive week, Johnny Unitas would not start today's game. Once again, Coach Shula would rely on the most successful journeyman quarterback in football, Earl Morrall. And once again, number 15 led the Colts downfield on their first series. With veteran setbacks like number 45, Jerry Hill, and number 41, Tom Matty, the Colts have always had a strong ground attack to go with their explosive passing game. The Colts were having little trouble moving the ball. However, the Browns' defense was able to produce the key breaks in today's game. The first one, this fumble recovery by Jim Houston. Watch the Browns' right tackle, number 69, Jim Kanicki. He was the man that caused the fumble with a blindside shot at Morrall, giving Cleveland the ball on the Colts' 37. Quarterback Bill Nelson was acquired in a trade to back up veteran Frank Ryan, but he has started the last 3 games and has looked better with each. Here he connects on a sideline pattern with number 42, Paul Warfield. Like Gale Sayers, number 44, Leroy Kelly, has moves he himself didn't know existed. Moves which make him a fantastic runner. Nelson again went for a down-and-out pattern to Warfield, and due to loose coverage by Lenny Lyles, this play worked well all day. Along with his moves, Leroy Kelly has power, and this burst brought the ball to the 1. Kelly's backfield partner, Ernie Green, is valuable not only as a runner, but in other ways. And we see why on the next play, as Green executed a magnificent fake which allowed Nelson to flip a pass to Kelly for the touchdown. Cleveland led 7-0 near the end of the quarter. The Colts have a return specialist who, like so many others, can turn a game around in one flash of lightning. His name is Preston Pearson, number 26, and on the ensuing kickoff, he almost broke loose. The Colts now had good field position, but field position was of little value to Baltimore on this series. Here, a veteran Brown defensive line showed an aggressiveness they had lacked thus far this season, but which had helped carry them to many championships in the past. The Browns' line play stopped the Colts cold, and the first quarter ended with Cleveland on top, 7-0. Don Shula has premised his whole attack on the quick strike, and like Unitas, Earl Morrall has been able to deliver it in every game. On the last play, it was a strike to reliable Jimmy Orr, number 28, who had beaten Ben Davis to the inside and hung onto the ball despite a jolt by safety Mike Howell. But the next quick strike was not through the air. It was provided by Tom Matty, the Colts' versatile setback, who can do it all, and does it with a style which, like the Cowboys' Dan Reeves, doesn't command headlines, but without which the Colts would not be a consistent winner. Matty's brilliant touchdown run was a combination of moves, speed, and strength. True to form, the quick-striking Colts were now back in the game with the score tied at 7. The next 4 series of downs produced no change in score, but contained some of the most important plays of the first half. On the first of many judgment calls that went for Cleveland, Nelson appeared to fumble. But the replay will show that the referee had blown the play dead before Nelson lost possession. On the next play, the Colts defense aborted this drive by stopping Cleveland short of a first down. The game had become a defensive struggle now, and the hitting was hard and heavy. On the last play, even a helmet shot heard round the stadium by Jerry Hill couldn't shake number 51, Dale Lindsey, from the tackle. Then Earl Morrall kept his cool by picking up his own fumble and hitting John Mackey. But again, an aroused Brown defense thwarted the potential long gainer. What next occurred looked like a drama class in demonstrating emotions, frustration, and anger. The first was performed by number 56, Bob Matheson. The second was more graphically illustrated by Colts coach Don Shula, a man who is known for his poise and calm, at least until today. Shula thought this punt hit one of the Browns and therefore became a free ball. The referee ruled differently, and Shula received an Emmy for his performance. Another key judgment call on their side, Cleveland then rolled to its second touchdown of the half, eating up most of the remaining time in the process. The magnificent man from Morgan State, Leroy Kelly, once again paced this drive with the kind of running he is known for, and kept him a viable candidate for the All-Pro team. Frank Ryan rarely threw to his tight end, but Bill Nelson has used number 89, Milt Morin, effectively this year. And Morin, who was highly touted as a rookie, has the assets to become a great tight end. His reception, a penalty, and a Kelly slant put the ball on the 8 with 50 seconds left. Ernie Green, used as a decoy on the Browns' first score, here became a receiver. Green led the team in receiving last year. Then on 2nd and goal from the 5, Paul Warfield again beat number 43, Lenny Lyles, to the outside, and a perfectly thrown pass by Nelson produced 6 more points. Don Cockcroft, the Browns' new place kicker, converted, and it was now 14-7 with only seconds left in the half. Like his famous substitute, Earl Morrall is adept at beating the clock, and almost did. He foiled Cleveland's prevent defense by hitting Matty with a medium-range pass just over the linebacker. But his mistake, one of the few he has made all year, was to go for the bomb. Ben Davis, number 28, looked like a Colts receiver as he took the pass on the run and ran the clock out with his interception. A spirited defense, a solid quarterback, and a super runner had given Cleveland a surprising halftime lead, 14-7. The second half opened with a kickoff into the shadows to rookie Terry Cole from Indiana. Cole, who was the 247th man chosen in the draft, almost went all the way. But Colt hopes of having one of their patented rallies behind their new quarterback by the name of Unitas were ended immediately as number 34, Mike Howell, picked off this batted ball. It was to be the Browns, not the Colts, who would score, and they started right off using the strategy that had worked so well in the first half, running the famed Cleveland sweep and hitting on the short passes to tight end Milt Morin. This has been one of the differences in the Cleveland offense under Bill Nelson, as he has effectively employed the short passing game. Another big difference for the Browns today was Ernie Green, who played his first game of the season after a preseason injury. The Colts defense was unable to key on Kelly. Nelson was hitting Warfield at will with sideline passes, and this one to the Baltimore 8 was no exception. Then it was Kelly on the sweep right. And Kelly on the sweep left, just short of the goal. The Colts' proud defense, which had allowed opponents an average of just over 10 points a game so far this season, had to hold for one more down. As the Colts bunched for the run, number 87, Eppie Barney, flanked wide to the right. And Nelson found him streaking across the end zone for the touchdown. Barney has replaced the Browns' fine flanker, Gary Collins. This year, someone with a name other than Groza is kicking for the Browns. Number 12 is his number, and Don Cockcroft is his name. Cleveland was up by 2 touchdowns now, and the Colts and Johnny Unitas had a job ahead of them. The charged-up Cleveland defense held Baltimore again, and David Lee punted from deep in his own territory. But Ben Davis botched the punt reception, one of 3 he misplayed today, and the Colts had the break they needed so badly. Unitas went to the air and received another Cleveland gift when number 24, Ernie Kellerman, was guilty of interference. Then Unitas dumped a pass to number 45, fullback Jerry Hill, who made a 12-yard gain of it. This play, seen again from another angle, is significant because, incredible as it may seem, it was the only pass Unitas would complete all day in a dozen attempts. A draw to Hill worked. But Baltimore needed the pass, and Unitas, obviously off on his timing with his receivers, couldn't give it to them. The Colts, who badly wanted a touchdown, had to settle for this Lou Michaels field goal, which brought the score to 21-10. On the kickoff after the field goal, Baltimore received their second big break of the half, when the ball bounced off the foot of number 27, Carl Ward, and kicker Michaels recovered on the Browns' 29. Don Shula is a coach who espouses a pounce philosophy of play, which says that every team receives a few breaks during a game, and the team that is able to take instant advantage of these breaks will win. This was the second such opportunity for the Colts, but again it was not to be, as the young Cleveland defense, which has 4 men at new positions, made the kind of play reserved for winning football teams. On a vital third down possession pass, Unitas tried to hit Orr for the first down, but his arm betrayed him once more. Another look shows that veteran Orr just missed a fingertip grab of the ball. But the touchdown drive was over. A Michaels field goal made the score 21-13 as the quarter ended. The first time Baltimore got the ball in the final quarter, disaster struck again. Unitas tried to hit Jimmy Orr, but the ball bounced out of his hands and into those of Brown's middle linebacker, number 56, Bob Matheson, who returned to the Colt 4. Matheson, who was Cleveland's number 1 draft pick a year ago, is one of the key men in the Browns' young rebuilt defense. The Browns needed one play by the fantastic Kelly to take the ball in and move the game further away from the Colts' reach. The kick was blocked, but the score was now 27-13. The troubles were still not over for John Unitas. Number 82, Jim Houston, narrowly missed an interception. But Cleveland didn't have long to wait, as in the next play, a good rush by defensive tackle Johnson, an orange helmet, and number 80, Bill Glass, combined for the third interception of Unitas. On this day, nothing less than a tragic figure. Quarterback Nelson went to his Kelly-Green combination, a partnership that last year resulted in over 2,000 yards on the ground, figures far surpassing any other tandem in the league. To get back yardage lost when Green was tripped up, Nelson again successfully used the sideliner to the fleet Paul Warfield, who is having his finest season since his extraordinary rookie year. Ernie Green's value to his team is demonstrated on this play, which found him wide open in the middle for a first down. It is no accident that for the first time this season, the Browns' powerful offense returned to form on the day Green made it back to the starting lineup. On this occasion, the Browns were unable to convert their interception into the full 7 points. Nelson just missed Morin in one corner of the end zone. And on the next play, in the opposite corner, Warfield thought he had the touchdown. But the official ruled that both feet weren't in when he made the catch, and Cockcroft was called upon for 3 points and a 30-13 margin. Earl Morrow was quarterback now in place of the beleaguered Unitas, and he got immediate results to Tom Matty down the left side. Playing the Browns is always something special for Mr. Matty, who was born in Cleveland, attended Ohio State, and usually makes the Browns painfully aware that he's in the game. Moving well now behind their second-string quarterback, Baltimore with tight end Mackey went into Cleveland territory, determined to quell the apparent upset. But once again, Cleveland got excellent pass coverage as number 28, Ben Davis, blanketed Orr in the end zone. Bill Glass, number 80, captured Morrow from behind to temporarily delay the Colts' quest to reduce the margin against them. But on the next play, Morrow found Richardson near the uprights to bring the Colts within 10 points. Now the Baltimore defense had to get the ball. An onside kick attempt failed, and the Browns began doing exactly what the Colts couldn't afford to let them do: control the ball. Leroy Kelly wasn't about to be stopped. The Browns repeatedly knifed through the huge Baltimore front four behind the kind of blocking from their offensive line that had been sorely missed in their previous games. The clock was continuing to move, but unfortunately for the Colts, so were the Browns. Kelly, last year's league leader, amassed a total of over 130 yards on the ground for the day, and quarterback Nelson, who probably went even further ahead of Frank Ryan in their competition for the regular job, hit 16 of 24 passes. As Kelly continued to eat up valuable seconds, it was apparent the Browns had achieved a stunning upset. Critics had contended they were a team who recently have never won a game they weren't supposed to win. Today, they were absolved of the charge. The clock ran out, and so did Baltimore's winning streak, 30-20. But for Leroy Kelly and the Cleveland Browns, it was an important step toward repeating as winner in the Century Division.